I've seen in my comment section, when I do a video, maybe us saying that Gashagua cannot be stopped from going for the presidency, people come and say that then William Ruto will smile the moment Gashagua declares to be at the ballot. I've given reasons as to why in my other videos, why people might prefer Gashagua so much in 2027. But on this particular video, I want to talk about the notion that if Gashagua runs, then William Ruto wins very early in the morning. That is what I want to talk about here today. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My number is always here for those who want to engage me. Feel free to do so, because that's how I get to learn. And if you want to support the channel, that's the M-Pesa number. Feel free to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, let me dive into this topic here today. If Gashagua is on the ballot, what happens to William Ruto? Now, people are saying that Gashagua is perceived to be a tribalist. So, and Kikuyus have been there. So they will not want another Kikuyu to replace William Ruto. They are feeling strongly that if Gashagua decides to be on the ballot, then William Ruto will be voted in very early in the morning. Gashagua does not stop people to vote for President William Ruto. Let me tell you people, it does not stop people from voting for William Ruto. People can vote for William Ruto as much as they want. But let me tell you this. Assuming Gashagua goes for the presidency and they have disagreed with these other leaders. Let's assume they have disagreed. So the disagreement resulted to each one of these leaders going alone. That's the first option. There will be no 50+1. And Gashagua does not need anyone, just the 5.2 million votes of the Mount Kenya people, which they are right now determined to push it to even 8. That's what they are saying. And I'm telling you, they will vote in one basket. Whether ni kufa ama kupona, they will vote in one basket. So if they vote in one basket, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that there will be no 50+1. There will be no 50+1 in 2027 general elections. And that will call for a runoff. Tell me how Rigathi Gachagua will not determine who wins an election. Assuming becomes number 1, 2, assuming actually does not even take number 1. It takes number 3 or 4. Tell me how Gachagua will not determine who wins an election. Tell me how Gachagua will not take William Ruto home. That is the only way. So if Gachagua runs independently, without these other opposition leaders, he still becomes trouble to William Ruto at the ballot. That's number 1. Assuming all these other opposition leaders decide that in 2027, we are going to go with Rigathi Gachagua, what happens? One thing I want to tell you is this. When they settle on Rigathi Gachagua, then Kenyans have settled on that. There's a clear indication that there's a reason as to why they'll consider Rigathi Gachagua. It is not just the numbers. It's the voice of Kenyans. I've done a video here on this particular channel, and I've told you that Gachagua will reach a point that is the only voice of Kenyans. And Kenyans to hate him, get rid of him, or even brand him to be a tribalist, to be very difficult. And I've given examples in other videos that there's no politician in the country right now as we speak who does not think tribal. Go to the appointments of President William Ruto. Very clear. As we speak today, do you have a PS from Kuria? I don't think so. As we speak today, do you have a PS from Nyamira? There's no one. As we speak today, ladies and gentlemen, there are regions in this country, small tribes, that are not represented. Yet other regions, they even have more than 5 cabinet secretaries. Though according to me, I don't feel like appointments are necessary to even touch across the entire nation. I feel strongly that delivery of services is the most important thing, because you find 22 cabinet secretaries, only one is performing. That means it's not all about having all regions represented. It's all about having people who can be able to deliver for the people of Kenya. Even if William Ruto decides to appoint his entire community into the cabinet, maybe so long as they deliver services to the people, they don't increase taxes, they don't steal, I'm okay. But nevertheless, tribalism cannot be the only thing to crucify Rigathi Gachagua with. And by the way, in any case, if you listen to Raila Amolo Odinga's cabinet secretaries, our people, they always talk of our people. That's Luo Nyanza. Our people. That's the same language Rigathi Gachagua uses. My people. A clear indication that first you need to solidify your base and show them your support. Then you go to the rest of the country. That is the Kenyan politics. Those are the nature of the Kenyan politics. That's the nature of the Kenyan politics. You first embrace your home and then get out. When Matiang'i wants to come home, when he wanted to vie for the president, he came home to be blessed. And you saw the turnout in the Gusii region. A clear indication, ladies and gentlemen, that you first solidify your base. So we can't use that as a way to crucify Rigathi Gachagua. If it's tribalism, then let all tribalist leaders be condemned. But if it's not on the basis of tribalism, let Rigathi Gachagua vie for the presidency in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, so in a scenario where they agree, I was going to that point, all leaders agree that it is now Gachagua going for this seat. They shall have agreed based on the statistics that we'll be having that Rigathi Gachagua is the most popular and the best fit to beat President William Samoei Arap Ruto. So if that happens, then the Kamba will support Gachagua. That's already 7. The Kisii support Gachagua. That's already 9. Now, if you go to the coast, you get some. Luya some. We already at 10. So whichever the number, whichever the nomenclature, or maybe say the matrix, so long as the opposition have agreed unanimous it's Gachagua, then William Ruto will go home. The only thing they have to do is to agree on Gachagua based on their statistics that Kenyans are with Gachagua. When I look at one of the analysts on here, he asked in his channel that if you wake up today and Rigathi Gachagua is on the ballot, will you vote for him if you have given him and William Ruto? The number of yeses that were there, yes comments, so many. A clear indication that in 2027, if Kenyans go with this spirit that they have against President William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua can easily become the president of the Republic of Kenya. But so long as he's in the ballot, that's what I know, there'll be no 50+1. So long as he's on the ballot, there'll be no 50+1. The amount of Mount Kenya votes cannot be ignored when it comes to the impact they make on the results that are achieved by a presidential candidate. I don't know what is your take, but in the comment section you can share with me on what you think.